Hey, I'm Marshall, and this is my final uh, one in R. Yeah, one in R. So I'll just be, answering a text that I made up. So yeah, alright. 5 minutes on the clock, please. Alright. Give me 2 seconds. Alright, so for a quick on-time roadmap, I'm going to be going over first plan attack, second State Department DA, and then third the advantage flip of the trafficking advantage in the affirmative team's case. And then I'll just be weighing the round and weighing my arguments, and then of course my partner will be going over his arguments in 2NR. So first to the plan attack. Okay, Judge, you cannot let them answer this attack. Their job is to present a prima facie case, and they have no enforcement, and that makes their plan unrealistic and abusive. And don't just if you're completely flowing this argument over to the affirmative side, just because it's like a generic attack. Let me read my sources for you real quick. That this is actually sources that saying that these people, or that enforcement is needed for government policy. These are actually people that have been in the Institute for Government, and they know good policy from bad policy and what makes bad policy bad. These are senior researchers, Michael Halsworth, senior researcher, Institute for Government, and Jill Rudder is the program director for Institute for Government, and she joined the Institute for Government as a Whitehall Fellow in September 2009. So she's been doing this for 7 years. And then Michael Halsworth, of course, is in the same organization, and they know how to separate good government policy from bad government policy. So for that reason, this argument should should be taken into account in the round. And if they don't answer this properly, which they can't anymore because their job was to present a prima facie case, it should automatically be flowed over to the negative side, and NIG should automatically win the debate because they do not have a good policy, and that's not fair to pass a bad policy. So next on to the State Department DA. So basically they came up here and said it's abusive because it's generic, but I have some theory. I have a theory book saying that specific DAs actually hurt debate. So intrinsicness or specific DAs allows the app to get out of any disad case argument or counterplan. Even offense germane to the plan becomes moot. The app would win every debate and kill the activity. Importantly, these moves are unpredictable, and only predictable ground is useful. So basically, that's saying that it kills negative ground. If we were to run a specific DA, it would kill our own ground because it allows the app to get out of any argument. So for that, generic DAs are good, obviously. So you can flow the State Department over to the negative side. They just tried to complain about it, but it should be taken into account because it is really important. It's going to cause Iraq war. It's going to cause mismanagement like the Iraq war, and they just try to brush it off like it's nothing. And they have to actually answer these types of arguments. Alright, so next on to my DA flip. So they tried to get up here and say that it says specifically in that card that ignorance is the core issue that deals with with women's rights. But again, their card does not say that China will consider this or pass this plan. And I said that they support human trafficking, and they didn't even take that into account. So you can still keep that argument. And then, in fact, I looked at their card, and it says that China is actually unwilling to pass this plan, and it is not a matter of unawareness. All right, this is directly from our card. It's not a matter of unawareness or lack of knowledge, but rather unwillingness from Chinese state to implement rights for women. The Chinese government, by denying women's rights and not addressing these discriminatory structures in society, upholds the discrimination of women. These have kept women in subordination and made them vulnerable to exploitation, such as male-driven trafficking. The Chinese state does not take responsibility to address this vulnerability factor that makes women vulnerable or to curb the demand for trafficking of women. Because of this ignorance, the Chinese government instead adds to the women's subordination and fuels trafficking. So as we can see in that last sentence, they actually fuel this trafficking. They're not preventing it. And since they don't have solvency, they will be creating more trafficking. And that can be seen as a linear DA of sorts. So just in conclusion, I went over my plan attack. They tried to disregard that, but they need to have a prima facie case. Then on to my State Department DA, also tried to brush this off, but this is really important because if they cause mismanagement like the Iraq War, even more soldiers are going to keep dying, and we're going to keep spending money on something stupid like the Iraq War or on Benghazi. And then onto the DA flip, they didn't properly answer this, and I proved that I was right using their own card. So if their own card says the opposite of what they're saying, obviously they don't have very good cards and they don't have a very good advantage. So we'll see trafficking, and you should not pass this plan because we will see the opposite of what their case is trying to solve for. So with that, I'm open for with that, I'm done with my 1 and 0.